Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday the 23rd of June and this is going to be a little bit of an unusual video because there's been so much information over Twitter and Instagram, all over social media, about the possibility of Harry being back in the UK. Now, I pride myself on looking at all the evidence. I hope that you are aware that I don't jump in feet first. I will always be analytical and I will always look at it with a reporter's kind of head on. And if I don't believe it's going to be true, one, I will say so. Two, I would leave it up to your own mind to make the judgment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all the information that is going around social media, and then I will let you be the judge. First things first, Harry Markle, wonderful blog, very, very conscientious in their research, did a little post and at the very, very end of it suggested that Harry had slipped back into the UK late last night. Now this was posted on the 21st of June and it said that an eyewitness had spotted him. So obviously social media went into meltdown and a lot of people have been second guessing exactly where he flew into. Nobody really knows. Then people started popping up saying, well, I saw him and I saw him. Yeah, I've got them. He was at LAX airport around about the same time when this supposed flight was supposed to have taken off. Other sources said they saw him at Farnborough Airport with the Royal Protection Officers, a woman and two children of walking age at around midnight, and that he had embarked from a private jet and was whisked away in a black SUV. Now, many people have tried to locate this jet on flight plans and aircraft arrivals and departures. It's a bit trickier because it's private. Now, there is one that's going around that was a Bombardier Global Express, but this says that it was British Standard Time, 12:32 p.m. That's not midnight. That is the afternoon. So I don't know why everybody's going, this has got to be the flight, this has got to be the flight. If it was midnight in the early hours of the morning, that couldn't have been the flight. Now, you know that I will always champion when I believe something is right. But this just doesn't feel right to me. I have no evidence apart from people saying that they've got sources saying they've seen him. Well, that's all very well and good, but without evidence, nobody really knows whether or not he's in the UK. We know that at some point he will likely have to come out of the United States for his visa. We're not quite sure whether or not he gets a diplomatic visa. I doubt it very much at the moment because he's not a working member of the royal family. Some people are suggesting that Archie wasn't with him. Again, this makes me just wonder what on earth is happening. Now, it was Father's Day on Sunday. You would think he'd want to be with his son on that particular day. But granted, it was extremely unusual that nothing dropped on Sunday. They did it with Mother's Day, they did it with Archie's birthday, and previous years when they've had social media, they have both released pictures of Archie on their subsequent Mother's Days and Father's Days. So it was highly unusual that nothing was dropped on Sunday. So that very well might give credence to the fact that he's in the UK. Like I said, there is no hard evidence, there's no photos, there's nothing. One thing that's really quite concerning for me is the amount of misinformation that is out there. Some people are saying that it was Lakenheath RAF Airbase, while other people are saying it was Farnborough. Well, you can't have it both ways. He either landed in one or the other. You can't land in both. As far as the visas are concerned, At the moment, because of COVID, everything is up in the air. And I have looked at the government website, the US government website, that goes into detail of what exactly is the process right now for people who have visas that are expiring. Now, it says that non-immigrant visas cannot be extended. However, the majority of non-immigrant visas are valid for several years. Please check the visa in your passport to confirm the validity period of the visa in your case. Now, it's very likely that Harry has a B2 tourist visa. And it does state on the usembassy.gov that if while you are there in the US, you may find that you need to stay longer than a period of time initially granted to you, you should contact the US Citizenship and Immigration Services and apply for an extension of your stay. That is on a B2 tourist visa. And the likelihood is, because Harry is who he is, he would probably grant an extension. Not necessarily though, so it very well may be that Harry had to come out of the US to go back in to validate his visa. Why the UK? Who knows? If he's here, it's highly unlikely that he would not have been spotted and photographed. But as Petey's Book Club on Twitter says, Google American visas for persons of exceptional accomplishments and achievements. Elites are on a totally different level. No green card. He'd apply for a 0 to 1A or a 0 to 1B. PR spin. And what's more important is that Trump has now issued executive orders limiting temporary work visas. That could stop Harry going back to the US if he is in fact in the UK. So he could struggle getting back in. But I still don't think he is here, because I've seen no real evidence apart from hearsay. And I don't mean to disrespect people's sources, but anybody can say anything they like. And without hard evidence of him being in the UK, I am not willing to run with it. Now, I reached out to several royal reporters yesterday, and I'm not going to name which one I have been speaking to because I would like to protect their anonymity. But he confirmed there is absolutely zip on the grapevine. There is no whispers, no nothing. That you shouldn't always believe what you read on Twitter and take everything with a pinch of salt. But that if Harry was in the UK, you can bet your bottom dollar if it was corroborated, then the media would be running with it. That in itself is a huge issue for me. I am well aware that journalists out there do their due diligence. If this is a non-plus story, then they will not be reporting on it. If Harry was in the UK, you can bet your bottom dollar that it would be everywhere across the media by now. They get papped left, right and centre. It just doesn't make sense to me why this is all happening. And without evidence, I don't know. I would really, really like to know your thoughts on this. Do you believe he is back in the UK? If he is back in the UK, why is he back in the UK? Is it for visa? Or, as people are saying, it's all over. That's it. They've left. They've gone. They've done. I don't think that's true at all. Harry is not ready yet to jack it in. Harry is a stubborn mule when it comes to things like this. He will dig his heels in to the bitter end if he has to. He has not risked his entire reputation, his entire family, everything that he stood for. He's not jacked it in this quickly. I don't think Harry will ever jack it in. It will be Meghan if something does happen to that marriage. She will be the one that ups and leaves, not Harry. I just don't feel it. And I know Harry and Meghan and the way that their story has run from start to finish very, very well. I have looked in depth into them and how they both work, their previous relationships, what they feel, what they've said. But I just don't feel that after a few short months in California, Harry would just go, all right, I'm coming home and you can keep Archie. Harry would fight to the death for his son. And if he was going to come into the country having realised the marriage was over, I really don't think it would be without Archie, because remember, the Queen holds custody. That trumps everything. Seriously, she could just yank him back if needs be. Why then is he on his own? It has to, if he is here, it has to be for visa reasons, nothing else. I'm really sorry that's not what you want to hear, but that's my opinions. That's what I'm reading across all of this. Harry's probably here for his visa, if he is here at all, but the royal reporters haven't heard jack on the matter, and they have their noses to the ground. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know, but I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think he's here? Do you think he's not? Do you think that without hard evidence, there's nothing that you can do, no speculation, and everything else is just hearsay and gossip? I'm really sorry if that's not what you want to hear, but I pride myself on looking at evidence. I don't see any evidence here apart from eyewitnesses, and also those eyewitnesses, varying degrees, are saying 2 different airports. To me, that doesn't make sense. Fit the jigsaw together, and if it all works out, brilliant, we have a story. But if those pieces say completely the opposite things, he landed at one airport or the other airport, it can't be both. And that to me is where it all falls down. Plus, the private jet that landed in Farnborough landed at midday, not midnight. Again, that's fallen down. So, I would love to know your thoughts on this whole debacle, on whether or not you think he's here and why. As always, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.